This is wedding season, and if you are of a certain age, then you've been attending a lot of weddings over the past couple of weeks, and indeed, you're likely to attend some in the coming days as well. It goes without saying, be safe when you do attend those weddings, but we're talking about the planning that is involved, everything that is involved in ensuring that the financial lives of individuals are secure, that they are on the same path that they are walking in their married lives. And to speak about this is my guest Kalpesh Ashar, who is a certified financial planner and SEBI registered investment advisor. Thank you so much, Kalpesh, for taking the time. I understand that this is a subject that's very dear to you, very close to your heart. But to set the context, let's talk about financial compatibility first. What does it mean to be financially compatible, and is it really as important as everything else in terms of compatibility for a couple?
Thank you, Alex, for having me on the show, first of all. And like you rightly said in your introduction, the subject is very close to my heart. And the reason for that is, being a certified financial planner, obviously we have a lot of couples coming to us and trying to weed out their financial problems, and they're working out their financial goals. But it's better if this thing is clarified or is known to the newlyweds prior to their journey together. And when we talk about financial compatibility, as per the tradition, there's something of a matching of a horoscope, which goes as per our tradition for the newlyweds prior to the marriage, obviously. In this case, when we say a financial horoscope, it is nothing but the onus is on the prospective husband and wife to talk it out, to be as clear as possible about what they want to do together, what is their existing situation which they are in, and where do they need to get to. Now, this unison is very necessary, and that is what we call financial compatibility. Now, it is very imperative that the financial compatibility is aligned early on for the couple. And the three most important aspects for a couple are financial inclusion. It is very necessary that the husband and the wife, both the people together, work as a team. Second is the effective communication on financial matters. It should not be the prerogative of only the husband or the wife in many cases, that they only take the singular onus. It should be an effective communication. Whatever is there should be communicated. There should be no hidden agendas there. And the most important thing, I think, on the path of financial planning for a couple is having uniform financial goals. We all understand how financial independence is necessary for especially the lady. But when it comes to a marriage also of your finances, because in today's world, we know the husband and wife both are working, both are financially dependent on each other. I think having uniform financial goals is very necessary. And this complete journey can be divided into two phases. One is a pre-marriage phase and one is probably the post-marriage.
Absolutely. In fact, let's talk about those two phases. You mentioned that it's important for a couple to get to know each other and their finances even before they decide to get married. And while that's certainly the most ideal scenario, Kalpesh, it's not necessarily a very comfortable conversation to have, especially if an individual is a little unsure about how the other person will take it. If maybe they are conscious about the fact that they're not necessarily earning as much as their partner. So what does a couple need to bear in mind, and why do you say it's so important?
Exactly, Alex. It is a very tough conversation to have for many people. But I think the ice needs to be broken, and that is where I would coin a term here, that a level of financial maturity is a must at this stage. Because today we have very level-headed people, both males and females professionally, and when they decide to come together for marriage, I think if this bridge is crossed at a very early stage of a relationship, the couple knows each other's financial strengths and weaknesses. And if they're on the same page, they will work continuously on building their finances around it. Like what I said is having uniform financial goals. So let's list down some points here which could, be discussed in a very, diligent way between the husband and the prospective husband and the wife. So the most important financial aspects which can be discussed during this phase are, I think, first of all, having a true assessment of the present earnings of both the members if they are working. The second is the spending habits. Now, this is a bit of a touchy subject here, but whether just need to know whether the spending habit is more on the conservative or the aggressive side. Third is that, okay, apart from spending, do they have an eye for saving first? And if yes, then do they invest in the right manner? So understanding that aspect is also very necessary. And the other 3 points, I think, are a little bit on the psychological side or on the traditional family side, is that, what is their family's existing financial status. It's very necessary to know it, not be, very clear, but at least there should be an honest assessment of the thing, because there should be no pretensions, I feel. The second one is that if one of them wishes to pursue a further education or wish to take a sabbatical immediately after marriage, because we need to understand that this works on two wheels. And if one of the wheel for some time is not in motion, there could be a problem in the cash flow in financial planning, like we say. So that is there. Then existing liabilities need to be discussed. If one of them is already having a heavy burden of a loan or some repayments to be made to certain individuals, that also needs to be taken into account. Because without this, if all of a sudden, there is a certain, questions raised, I think that could cause a lot of conflict, which could affect the marital life apart from the financial life as well. And the most important thing, which I said, the psychological part, though as much as, modern we are, or in today's times we call ourselves, it is very necessary to clarify. I think this question needs to be asked, that if the prospective husband and his family will truly and well allow the girl or the wife to continue working professionally if she wishes to do so post marriage and pursue her profession. So there should be clarity on all these aspects, I feel. And once this is sorted out pre-marriage, I think then the journey ahead is a little bit easier to take forward.
All right. Certainly very important points that need to be clarified. And like you said, it's an important discussion, it's an important conversation to have. On a lighter note, before we get into the post-marriage conversation, do you think that it's important for couples to go out and spend equally when they go out on a date, or maybe just for dinner?
Interesting question. And I'm not speaking from personal experience here. That phase during the courtship days is more of a phase where the couple is trying to actually impress each other. And in that zone which the couple is right now, there could be some overspending. And I don't blame people. That's the human psyche from ages now. But I think here also it is necessary that, you put the pretensions aside and get real. What it is, it needs to be projected.
Good answer. Good answer, because I know that you're going to have some answering back home as well. But let's talk about what happens post marriage. How does one contend with this? Because I think a lot of my viewers will also already have made that journey, Kalpesh, and they're looking for tips and tricks that they can follow to ensure that they take the right path now. So how does one do that?
Okay, so this is important, because if, like what you said, if the bridge is not, taken across in the pre-marriage time, then obviously most of the people would approach us for their financial planning post-marriage. And this also, I would like to start, before I get into the technical stuff or the financial planning part, on certain, behavioral aspects of finance. And of course, this is the most important stage of life, and how the couple start interacting with each other regards to finances also depends on a couple of factors, or three factors, in fact, which is past experience of their maiden family behavior with regards to money. What I mean to say here is that, the girl, before coming to the husband's house, how was the behavior with regards to money in her house? Were they conservative? Were they aggressive? Were they very liberal towards money? Were they with an investing mindset? Or, that all the other husband side as well, the same points would apply. Now this is a mindset which the husband or the wife carries with him or her into the marriage, and then they try to play it out with their partner. So this past experience is also a psychological factor. The second one is the level of trust the couple has mutually between themselves, and this is at most important. It is a touchy subject, but it is best left to the couple to decipher the level of trust. And the third most important thing, which I always propagate, is individual financial awareness. In today's times, it is a must. Whether you are a professional in any field, you can't get away with saying that I'm financially ignorant and money takes its own shape and size and all those things. No, you have to be financially aware of the external points which are going around in the economy, the markets, to a certain extent. So I think this is the most important point which we have. Now, I'd straight like to come, Alex, here to the post marriage. I would like to say, rather than the do's, I would like to focus on the don'ts, Alex, out here, if you permit me. So these are the financial mistakes a couple should not make. First and foremost is, many people, especially the husbands, due to a male ego or whatever you call it, have a habit, I'm not saying all, of not disclosing their real income due to various reasons, to their wife. And this is very detrimental. And it could be various weird reasons why they don't do it. Professionals themselves sometimes aren't sure of their real income because it's of a varying nature. Salaried people also would not like to put it transparent. I think that is a very, very big mistake which many people do. Second is, again, a very behavioral aspect, again connected to your ego, which is taking individual financial decisions. I think one of the spouse, and sorry to say, but mainly men, think that their partner need not know, or in fact are not capable of understanding finances as they are, or the financial products which they talk about, or it is their prerogative only to take those decisions, and they do not include their wife in it. In my first aspect, I had mentioned about financial inclusion. This is exactly that aspect which I'm talking about. Taking individual financial decisions is a big no. You have to have a joint meeting with your wife if it's a major financial decision which you are heading towards. Third is taking loans and even lending money to your friends or relatives and not informing your spouse. This is really, really bad, and it can have bad repercussions if there's a bad event and all these past ghosts, just the skeletons tumbling out of the cupboard, just come out if your spouse is not aware of it, and it could be a bad scene at your finances at your home. So that is a bad thing. Fourth is a sudden job or a business shift decision. So all of a sudden, due to any reason, one of the spouses just decides to discard their job or leave the job, and without thinking of the effects it could have on their cash flow, their future financial goals, and all these things put together. So it has to be a very thought out process. It has to be discussed. You have to keep a calm mind before you take this decision. Have a sufficient contingency fund. That's a different topic, what we need in financial planning, if you were to take such a decision. Then, especially now for the business liabilities, which people who are professionals or have business, it is necessary, if the water goes above your head level, and things are uncontrollable. Many times people face these problems in their business, to inform their spouse, because it is the joint responsibility of sharing the joys and the bad part which comes in a life. But at least your spouse should know about it. The fourth or fifth point, which I may say, is defaulting on credit cards. It goes without saying, this is not a big thing, which we are seeing around. It's happening rampantly, and people go beyond their means, beyond their incomes, just flash their credit card, and again make that big financial mistake. Many times I have seen people who still are, not understanding that they keep on paying that minimum amount in a credit card, and their interest rate just bludgeons up. So that is very, very, very dangerous. And inform your spouse if the credit card limits have gone up, and try to pay that amount first. And the final one is, which I told you first, keep financial goals aligned with each other. This can really be a major setback for the future of the couple. as it is necessary for both the members to have their focus and finances to achieve their short-term and long-term financial goals. Because here, if the goals are different, the focus of the investments or the right products also are not chosen, and it could end up in a big mess. So the more common and the more uniform financial goals you all have together, you all will be moving towards it in a very disciplined manner.
Absolutely, Kalpesh. Those are words of wisdom indeed, and certainly advice that a lot of people should follow. By the way, viewers, in case you have any questions specifically for Kalpesh, to write to us and I will get them answered in short. But we're out of time on this segment. Kalpesh, thank you so much for taking the time and for speaking to us on The Money Show.